We are back. We're back. It's been a little bit. Just because I've been working, I hadn't gone around to doing a book review. I didn't just finish this book the other day. I finished it maybe a few weeks ago or something like that. Not too long after my last video. Anyway, like I said in the last video, I was going to do a review of The Devil of Nanking, which we got right here. Um, and also, I did read another book that was much shorter after I finished this one that I might be doing a review for right after this, if this goes well. So, anyway, we're going to hop right into the plot of this book. It's basically about this girl named Gray, and she's obsessed with finding this videotape that was said to have been recorded during the rape of Nanking or the massacre of Nanking, and this videotape is supposed to have some sort of a unspeakable act being committed by somebody during the war, basically, or not the war, the invasion, whatever. Um, so anyway, she's obsessed with this videotape. She needs to find it because she read about it in some book that was in her family's library when she was young, and ever since then she basically becomes obsessed with it, and she needs to find the videotape. So when she asks her family about this tape, they say that, we have no idea what you're talking about. You must have dreamt this thing up because we would never have such a thing in our house, blah, blah, blah. Basically, nobody believes her. Everybody thinks she's kind of crazy. And the main character does have it's clear that they have some issues. And, even very serious ones. There's definitely something wrong with this character. There's definitely something plaguing the main character other than their urge to find this videotape. But anyway, she goes to Japan, I believe, to find this videotape because she read that the last person who may have had a copy is this I believe it's a historian or somebody who's teaching at a college in Japan, I think. So what happens is she travels all the way there with almost nothing, and she's basically going to stop at nothing to find this videotape. So she meets with I'm forgetting his name. I should have remembered, but she meets with the school teacher or historian, whatever you want to call him, and he was said to have been around in Nanking when everything happened, and it was just documented somewhere that he may have a copy of this tape or whatever. So she can't even find proof of that or whatever. She says that she read here that this person may have it, and she read about the videotape in general from her family's library, but nobody believes her, like I said before. So she goes there and confronts the guy and says that she needs to see the tape because it's super important to her. And basically they work out some sort of an arrangement. You don't know if he has it yet or if he doesn't. He knows something. And the way this book is written is it goes from present day, which is the character of Gray, and then some journal entries from the character who I was just referring to. Um, Basically, him just like writing in his diary in present day, and then it goes back to his journal entries that he wrote during the invasion. And oh my god, is it interesting. It's riveting. It really is something else. They're also disturbing and intense sequences like nothing I had ever read before. I went into this book hoping that it would be a disturbing horror novel. Okay, now I definitely got that, but it's more horror because of what actually happened. It's the horror is knowing that these unspeakable acts were committed during the time. And just, I also want to say that one of my favorite parts about this book was reading this guy's journal entries around when everything was kind of hitting the fan. It is so disturbing and mysterious and immersive. Every time I got to those sections, I didn't want it to end, but also you're rushing to get to the next page, Not like you're not paying attention, you're just avidly awaiting the next thing to happen, and it was very intense in that way. And the way that it's written is very good too. Like I said, I went in to this book expecting, a horror novel that was deeply disturbing or whatever. I had basically found this book on a list of disturbing novels or something like that. And, I got all of that. And there are some slightly supernatural elements, I guess you could say. So it kind of gave me everything I wanted and more, just because of the realism, and the story is so intriguing. The brief description that I gave was only half, not even. That was just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much going on in this novel. Now, the other thing is, you can look on the side here and read the plot or whatever. I did that, and I was sort of waiting for these things I read about to happen as I progressed in the story. I guess you really should just go into it knowing that it's a story about somebody who needs to find a videotape of an unspeakable act that was committed during the invasion. And there's a ton of mystery behind this videotape. You want to know what's on the videotape. You want to know if it even exists. You want to know if the main character is just crazy. If they imagined all of this. You also root for them in parts. You're hoping that it does exist because there's so much build up. And all of the build up pays off. It's definitely a slow burn in ways, but there is so much going for it that you don't feel wrapped up in any unnecessary plot points. It's all very necessary. The writer did a great job of explaining one thing, kind of glossing over this one thing that'll later come up again in the story, so that when that thing happens, you look back and you're like, oh shit, yeah, because the writer talked about this back then, and you realize there's a reason they talked about it that way, if that makes sense. Certain events happen early in the story that will come back later on, and it all comes together in this perfect crescendo. I don't know. It's so well done. Really well written, well composed story, deeply immersive, like I said before, and so eerie and off-putting and unsettling. You feel like you're there with this character who's writing during the invasion, and the deeply disturbing first-hand accounts that are written are just insane to read. I'm not going to get into any of that because I don't want to spoil it. I went into this book pretty blindly, I guess you could say. I had some ideas of what it might be like, and I was completely blown away, and I mean that in the best way possible. So anyway, I really don't have any complaints with this book. It's very bleak and sort of sad, I guess you could say. It's definitely not a happy novel, but oh my God, is it good. Very well done. I would love to see this made into a movie or even an anime, I guess. I don't know why I thought of it like that. I think I pictured this book in certain portions as an anime because of the beautiful, what do you call it? The beautiful geez, what is the word? You know, when the author is explaining the scenery and the house that this girl is staying at and the rooms that they go to, just every bit of explanation for the scenery and setting, and just, you know, talking about Japan and what the city looks like, and um, all of that was so good. I couldn't help but picture a lot of it in anime, because, you know, animated things are sometimes the only way to do certain certain writing justice, if that makes sense. There's just something very whimsical and beautiful about it, and at the same time, it's all very disturbing and bleak, but very well done. I can't say that enough. I really loved this book, and the last page, you know, it just did everything I needed. You know, there were a lot of surprises. You know, a lot of moments where the whole story comes together, and that might be the best part of the book, along with everything else. I really, well, you know, after saying that, I really don't know which is the very best part of the book. It's got so many things going for it, and I really hope more people check this one out. Definitely, definitely underrated. If well, I'm surprised that I haven't heard more people talk about this one, so it's definitely underrated. Um, anyway, I can't say it enough. I absolutely loved this book. Go check out The Devil of Nanking. And yeah, that's basically it. I might do another review right after this one, so stay tuned if you want to check that out. But anyway, check this out. Go read it. Don't look too much into it. I watched some reviews, and I like to know what I'm getting into. But oh my God, if you go into this book 100% blindly, it will not be a mistake. Everything this book has is golden. Really just amazing. I can't say all of these good things enough. Anyway, go check it out. I'll stop rambling. And that's it. That's my review of The Devil of Nanking. All right, bye.